Imagine waking up on this exact date, Thursday, July 30, 2026, and looking at the internet's underlying architecture. You probably think the web is just buzzing with human activity, right? Like people clicking, scrolling, reading.
Yeah, you completely expect that.
Right. But if you look at the raw network data for July 30, 2026, the reality is entirely different. It's actually kind of wild.
It's mostly just machines. I mean, literally machines reading things written by other machines.
Exactly. I have this massive stack of reports sitting in front of me from the SEO Daily Technology Keyhawk, and this is specifically their ASR bot fleet data compiled for July 30th, 2026. And the number that just jumps off the first page is that nearly 60% of all HTML page requests across these massive networks are now generated by automated agents.
Wow.
Yeah. Bots, AI crawlers. Over half the traffic on the web isn't even human.
And, that single data point right there, it explains the absolute panic and really the subsequent total reconstruction of how human knowledge is distributed and monetized right now.
So, welcome to this deep dive. Our mission for you, the listener, whether you're a digital marketer, a content creator, or just insanely curious about the hidden plumbing of the internet, is to decode this seismic shift.
Right, because the plumbing has completely changed.
It really has. We are looking at a web where the pipes have been completely rerouted, where information is synthesized on the fly rather than just linked to, and where literal toll booths have been installed inside the network itself.
Okay, let's unpack this, starting with the economics, because as of July 30, 2026, the toll booths are officially up and running.
Well, they had to be built. When you have language models scraping every piece of text on the internet to train their systems, publishers realized they were just being strip mined.
Oh, totally.
I mean, they were providing all the raw material for AI to answer user questions, but getting zero traffic and zero ad revenue in return.
Which brings us to Cloudflare. As of July 1st of 2026, they rolled out their monetization gateway. But the real ticking clock in this Keyhawk report is September 15th.
Right, the cutoff. Yeah. That is when Cloudflare's default settings will automatically block any mixed-use AI crawler from reading a web page, unless that AI company actually pays a microtransaction fee. And the mechanism they're using to do this is something out of a tech history museum. It's the HTTP 402 status code.
Which is such a brilliant technical irony if you think about it. Most people, they know HTTP 4 the standard page not found error.
Right, everyone knows 404.
Exactly. But HTTP 402, it was baked into the original architecture of the web decades ago. It literally means payment required.
That is so wild to me.
Yeah, the original founders of the internet envisioned a world where you could pay fractions of a cent to read an article, but the banking infrastructure just didn't exist to support it back then. So 402 basically sat dormant.
Just waiting for 2026.
Right, waiting for a moment when the visitor to a website isn't a human with a credit card, but an AI crawler with an API token.
Oh, that makes so much sense.
So when an OpenAI bot or a Google crawler hits a server now, the server throws that 402 code. It says, I have the data you want, but you need to digitally handshake and transfer a micropayment before I release the HTML payload. Publishers are actually charging AI per request.
It's a complete shift in the model. I mean, the internet used to be a free public library. Anyone, human or robot, could wander the aisles, grab a book, and read it.
A completely open system.
Right, but now it's a gated community. The robots show up at the front gates, and there's a security system demanding payment before they can even look at the houses. And the massive tech giants are aggressively cashing in. Just recently, on July 23, Yelp announced they are licensing their entire database.
Oh, yeah, the Yelp deal.
Yeah, 330 million user reviews, ratings, photos, directly to OpenAI for ChatGPT.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, Yelp is solving the survival equation of the AI era.
How so?
Well, a traditional search engine used to send a human to Yelp.com, where Yelp served them ads, right?
Right, the classic model.
But an AI assistant, it just reads Yelp's data, synthesizes it, and tells the user, hey, here's the best coffee shop near you. The user never clicks a link, so Yelp just bypasses the click entirely.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they license the raw data directly to the AI model. OpenAI gets highly reliable, proprietary real-world data to prevent its models from hallucinating. And Yelp secures this massive revenue stream that requires zero actual website visitors.
Okay, that makes perfect sense if you are Yelp or Reddit or, a massive news publisher. You have hundreds of millions of data points to sell in a boardroom deal.
Exactly.
But I'm reading this and thinking about the individual creator, or like a mid-size brand. If you don't have a proprietary database to license, And the AI bots are just scraping whatever they can find. How on earth do you force the AI to cite you?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right, like how do you get any visibility if you don't own the toll booth?
That anxiety is exactly why the definition of a website is currently eroding. The platforms realize that authority doesn't just live on .com domains anymore.
And that leads perfectly into the second major revelation in this stack of data, the end of the website-only era. Because just yesterday, July 29th, 2026, Google flipped the switch globally on platform properties inside Google Search Console.
Right, and for anyone who has worked in digital marketing, Google Search Console, or GSC, it was the holy grail of website analytics.
The ultimate source of truth.
Exactly, but historically, it was locked to DNS ownership. You had to prove to Google, at the server level, that you actually owned a specific domain name. Only then would they show you the search queries people type to find your pages.
But with this new platform properties rollout, that server requirement is completely gone.
Yeah, it's a huge shift.
The report details how creators can now authenticate their TikTok, Instagram, X, and YouTube accounts directly into GSC. Google is providing the full dashboard, the clicks, the impressions, the exact search terms for content that lives on external social networks.
They are mapping the search behavior of the entire web, regardless of where the file is actually hosted.
Wait, I need to push back on this because the implications are just wild. I'm trying to picture the mechanics here.
Sure.
Are you telling me that a 19-year-old creator who shoots videos on their phone, who has never purchased web hosting, doesn't know what HTML is, and has never registered a domain, can log into Google's official webmaster tool and execute an SEO strategy? Are we even optimizing websites anymore, or are we just optimizing brand vibes?
Well, you are absolutely optimizing brand, but it goes much deeper than just vibes. It's about verifiable algorithmic authority.
Okay, verifiable how?
So the search engines, specifically the AI overviews generating the answers, they are desperate for credibility. They need to know a source is real. This ties into a concept Google has pushed for years called EEAT. That's experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness.
Right, but those used to just be loose guidelines, for human quality raters.
They were. Google would hire humans to spot check search results and ask, like, does this page seem trustworthy?
Yeah, exactly.
But the 2026 data shows EEAT has hardened into strict algorithmic ranking mechanics, especially for YMYL your money or your life topics like medical or financial advice. The language models are trained to look for off-domain signals now.
Ah, so looking outside the actual website.
Right. If you publish an article about investing, the AI doesn't just evaluate the keywords on your page. It checks if your author entity is cited on LinkedIn, if your videos on YouTube get engagement, if you're mentioned in the press on X.
Wait, so a heavily optimized anonymous blog post with perfect technical SEO gets crushed by a TikTok video from a recognized industry expert?
Every single time.
Wow.
The AI overview will synthesize its answer and choose to cite the verified creator's social post because the broader web footprint proves they are a real, authoritative entity. Technical SEO and public relations, they are no longer separate departments.
They've completely merged.
They are the exact same mechanism now. If you aren't doing PR and building topical authority across multiple platforms, tweaking your title tags on your own website is basically useless.
I mean, if the algorithm is rewarding off-domain social content over traditional web pages, it has to be, because the way users are actually retrieving information has fundamentally changed, right? The interface itself is dictating this shift.
Oh, definitely. The 10 blue links are dying a very fast death.
Here's where it gets really interesting. Let's look at the deployment data for July 2026. Google AI Mode, which is powered by their Gemini 3.5 Flash model, is now active in over 180 countries.
It's massive.
Yeah, and they've added embedded link carousels to desktop interfaces, meaning the links are just tucked away inside conversational chat bubbles. Furthermore, Google's Web Guide experiment is reorganizing results not as a linear list, but as dynamic thematic topic groups.
The structure of the page is adapting to the structure of human thought. We don't think in a list of 10 hyperlinks.
No, nobody does.
Right, we think in conversational clusters.
And the numbers back that up aggressively. According to the Keyhawk report, AI overviews are triggering on approximately 47% of all U.S. searches.
That is almost half of all queries.
Yeah. And when that AI overview appears at the top of the screen, the traditional Position 1 organic listing the spot marketers have spent billions of dollars fighting over for 2 decades. It loses 15 to 30% of its click-through rate instantly.
It's an evaporation of traffic. I mean, the user gets their answer without having to click the link.
It feels like we are transitioning from a vending machine internet to a concierge internet.
Oh, I like that analogy.
Yeah, like the vending machine model was highly transactional. You punch in a very specific keyword code like best running shoes, flat feet, and a blue link drops into the tray. You pick it up, you consume it.
Very mechanical.
Right. But a concierge model is fluid. You walk up and just casually say, hey, I'm trying to start jogging again, but my arches always hurt and I live in a rainy city.
Right, very natural language.
Exactly.
Sure.
The AI concierge doesn't hand you a list of 10 shoe stores. It talks to you. It synthesizes 5 different podiatry blogs, a weather report, and 3 e-commerce sites into a single conversational answer.
What's fascinating here is how the modality of that interaction is advancing right this second.
Yeah, the OpenAI update.
Yes. OpenAI's July release of GPT-Live completely shatters the keyboard dependency. Users aren't just typing to the concierge anymore, they are speaking to it in real time.
It's crazy.
GPT-Live features extremely low audio latency, memory that tracks context across multiple days, and most importantly, emotion detection.
Wait, emotion detection. So if I'm holding my phone in the kitchen and I sound incredibly frustrated because I burned my dinner and I need a quick takeout recommendation, the AI actually processes the stress in my voice.
It does. It analyzes the acoustic properties of your voice, recognizes the frustration, and it alters its output.
So it won't just list off random stuff.
Right. It won't give you a long, cheerful preamble about the history of local cuisine. It will instantly, calmly give you the 3 closest open restaurants.
That is mind-blowing. But think about the cascading effect that has on the creator. If the user is speaking naturally and the AI is responding emotionally, how does a brand ensure they are the ones being recommended in that spoken conversation?
It requires a completely new discipline. It's conversational SEO. You can no longer write giant walls of corporate text and hope a search engine figures it out.
So what do you do instead?
Your content has to be architected as natural Q&As. You have to anticipate the exact conversational phrasing a user will speak aloud and structure your answers so an AI can extract them and read them back smoothly over an audio interface.
Which means the old toolbox is completely obsolete. We need to open up the 2026 technical playbook. And looking through this report, the baseline strategy for doing exactly what you just described is called GEO, Generative Engine Optimization.
Yeah, it's the successor to SEO. Instead of optimizing for Google's index, you are optimizing to be cited by the language models themselves. ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini, Claude.
And the most fascinating mechanical shift in GEO is the widespread adoption of the elms.txt file. I absolutely love how this works.
It's super elegant.
It really is. For over 20 years, websites used a file called robots.txt essentially as a bouncer. It sat on the server and told search engine crawlers, do not look in this folder, do not index this page. It was a defensive tool.
Right, a list of restricted areas.
But elms.txt is entirely offensive. Websites are placing these text files right next to their XML sitemaps. When an AI crawler arrives, this file acts like an executive summary.
Giving it the highlights.
Exactly. It explicitly tells the language model, here is the most important, highly verified information about my company, my products, and my brand stance. Prioritize this data.
Think of it as a cheat sheet for the AI. Language models are prone to hallucination, right? They get easily confused by contradictory information scattered across a large website.
Oh, absolutely.
So by serving a clean, markdown formatted elms.txt file, you just remove the friction. You are spoon-feeding the AI the exact narrative it needs to understand your brand accurately.
And it works.
Oh, definitely. Companies adopting this are seeing immediate lifts in their AI citation rates simply because they made it easy for the machine to read their core facts.
And the software ecosystem building around this is heavily automated. The report details tools like AirOps, which isn't just a keyword research tool anymore, but a multi-model workflow engine.
Yeah, it does everything.
It really does. It orchestrates GPT, Claude, and Gemini simultaneously to generate content, format it for GEO, and publish it. Koala AI has bundled writing, chat agents, and image generation into a single workspace. Even the analytics giants are pivoting.
Right, like SEMrush.
Exactly. SEMrush One now features a generative AI copilot for $199 a month. It tracks your exact visibility inside ChatGPT prompts and Google AI overviews, interprets the fluctuations, and literally tells you what content to update next. And HubSpot notes almost 49% of marketers are using AI for personalized content now.
The entire production and analytics pipeline has been industrialized. I mean, a human physically typing out a blog post to rank for a keyword is basically artisanal at this point.
Which brings up the most uncomfortable question in this entire stack of data. If Koala AI is drafting the content, if Claude is automatically formatting it into elms.txt, and if Semrush's Copilot is doing the analytics and deciding the strategy, what does a human being actually do in July of 2026? Is human SEO dead?
This raises an important question, probably the most important one for anyone working in digital media today. The short answer is no, the human isn't obsolete, but the job description has moved way up the abstraction ladder.
So what's the new job?
Humans are no longer the typists, they are the architects. And their primary job is defining what we call entities.
Entity SEO. This seems to be the final boss of the 2026 playbook.
It really is the foundation of everything we've discussed. AI language models do not understand keywords. If they see the word apple 50 times on a page, they don't inherently know if you're talking about a fruit, a technology company, or a record label.
Right. It's just a string of letters to them.
Exactly. They understand the world through entities, distinct, well-defined people, places, concepts, and the relationships between them. So Tim Cook is an entity that is the CEO of the entity Apple Inc., which sells the entity iPhone.
And humans are required to map those relationships for the machines.
Precisely. We do this using structured data, specifically schema markup like JSON-LD.
Okay, let's break down JSON-LD mechanically because it sounds like terrifying programmer jargon.
It does, but it's actually pretty simple. Think of building a web page like moving into a new house. You put a chair in the living room, a bed in the bedroom, a stove in the kitchen.
Okay.
To a human walking through, it's obvious what those things are. But an AI crawler is essentially blind. It just bumps into shapes.
It just sees code.
Right. JSON-LD is the equivalent of a human walking through that house and slapping a highly visible, standardized name tag on every single object. This is a chair. Its purpose is sitting. It belongs to the brand IKEA.
You're hard-coding the context.
You are building a knowledge graph. The report specifically notes a massive surge in FAQ schema adoption right now. Marketers aren't just doing this to get a drop-down menu in traditional search results anymore.
What are they doing it for?
They are taking their conversational Q&As, wrapping them in JSON-LD schema, and serving them directly to the AI. When a user asks GPT-Live a spoken question, the AI doesn't have time to parse 1,000 words of unstructured text.
It needs the answer immediately.
Exactly. It grabs a pre-labeled JSON-LD entity, validates it against the brand's elms.txt file, and speaks the answer aloud.
That perfectly explains the human role. Without a human strategist mapping the entities, validating the facts, and building the real-world off-domain brand presence, the EEAT, all those AI automation tools are just generating invisible noise.
It's just garbage in, garbage out, without that strategy.
Right. The machine can write 1 million words a minute, but only the human can provide the authoritative signal that forces the AI concierge to actually cite it.
Strategy cannot be automated. Only the execution can.
So what does this all mean? If you're listening to this and you want to ensure you actually exist on the internet as of July 30th, 2026, it comes down to 3 pillars. Pillar 1, control your data at the plumbing level. Use tools like HTTP 402 to charge the bots and elms.txt to guide them.
Yep, essential.
Pillar 2, build off-domain authority. Google Search Console platform properties proves that your verified presence on TikTok or X is just as valuable as a .com domain. And Pillar 3, structure your knowledge. Use JSON-LD to clearly label your entities so that when a user speaks to their AI concierge, you are the verified source that gets read aloud.
That is a flawless summary of the mechanics today. But, if I may, I'd like to leave you with one final thought to mull over. A logical endpoint to all of this.
Let's hear it.
We open this deep dive by noting that 60% of web traffic is now machines. Let's trace the life cycle of a piece of information right now.
Okay.
A human uses an automated AI tool like AirOps to generate an optimized article. That AI-generated article is published to a server accompanied by an elms.txt file written by another AI.
Right.
Then an AI crawler from OpenAI or Google comes along, pays a microtransaction, and extracts that data. Finally, a user asks a question, and an AI voice assistant like GPT-Live synthesizes and speaks an answer derived from that original AI-generated text.
Its entire supply chain.
But look closely at the chain. At what point does the human actually read the text?
Oh.
The human prompted the creation, and the human listened to the spoken summary. But the actual written web, the billions of pages of HTML, they are entirely written by machines, formatted for machines, crawled by machines, and read by machines.
Yeah.
Are we optimizing the internet for people to learn from? Or are we quietly building a closed-loop machine-to-machine library where humanity is just standing on the outside, occasionally asking the librarian for a summary?
That is, wow.
Yeah.
That is deeply unsettling, but mechanically, it's exactly what the data is showing us on this exact date.
Yeah.
You think you're turning a faucet to get a drink of water, but you're actually just tapping into a closed loop where the water is endlessly recycling itself through the pipes. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the architecture of July 30, 2026. Keep questioning the digital world around you. Keep an eye on where your data is flowing, and we'll catch you next time.